What is up, everybody? RandomRandomMan here. Wait, something's wrong. Hang on a sec. Lumos. That's better. What is up, everybody? RandomRandomMan here, bringing you my review for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which stars Eddie Redmayne, Katherine Waterston, Dan Fogler, Alison Sudol, Ezra Miller, Samantha Morton, Jon Voight, Carmen Ejogo, and Colin Farrell, and is directed by David Yates. Based on the companion book of the same name, the plot basically follows Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne, a magic zoologist who, in 1926, travels to New York City only to have his briefcase that he carries with him full of magical beasts escape, which leads him to go around the city to round these creatures back up before they cause total turmoil. Now, it has been a long while since I've shot a review in this format, but I felt like I had to because I am a massive Harry Potter fan. If you could not tell by this ridiculous getup, which, by the way, this costume was from like 10 years ago. Look how short it fits on me now. And I have this replica one that I still have from mail order over 10 years ago, when that was a thing, before ordering stuff from the internet was really prominent. But with the advent of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter being expanded in film, I got super excited. And when I found out that David Yates was returning from directing the final 4 Harry Potter movies to do this latest installment in the franchise, I got even more excited. J.K. Rowling, the author of all the books, which I've read along with seeing all the other movies, of course, was doing this film as her first film screenplay. That also got me excited, and with it being an adaptation of this companion book to expand the universe, you can tell the Harry Potter fan in me just got really hyped up for this film. How was it? Let's run down the whole thing. With this cast, I was immediately drawn towards Eddie Redmayne playing Newt Scamander, especially after seeing and loving his Oscar-winning turn in The Theory of Everything, where he played Stephen Hawking. And I can definitely say that his charisma exudes on screen in playing Newt Scamander. He has that offbeat kilter about him that makes him a bit awkward, but also very charming. I really felt the compassion he had towards all of these beasts that eventually get strung loose out of his briefcase, because he wants witches, wizards, all magical people alike to really care for them if they come across them or what have you. You really feel like he is somebody who really is a beast lover in this universe. Also in setting up what he does to write the real-life in-universe textbook that Harry and the rest of his friends and other classmates do read at Hogwarts. I also really enjoyed Katherine Waterston as a former Auror who tries to bring in Newt Scamander after a fiasco at a bank. I thought that she was very nice to see with the camaraderie that she had between Newt Scamander. Dan Fogler plays a no-mage, aka a non-magical person who gets caught up in all of this mess, and I personally am not a very big fan of Dan Fogler. I don't find him very funny. However, in this film, not only did I not recognize him at first under that mustache, but he actually did a great job. He surprised me a lot in this movie, along with some of the other players, including Redmayne, Waterston, and the rest of the cast. He was very funny. I liked the back and forth he had between him and Redmayne and the other characters, especially Alison Sudol's character. Sudol plays the sister to Waterston's character, and she brims with enthusiasm and just a lot of energy. She is absolutely gorgeous along with Waterston. They both light up the screen with their beauty, but also with how Sudol has really intimate chemistry with Fogler and what she contributes with the rest of the movie. I really want to see her in more movies after this. The rest of the supporting cast includes people like Ezra Miller and Samantha Morton. Ezra Miller plays the adopted son of a really religious person who is against these magical people, played by Samantha Morton. I think they both do fine jobs. Miller's character is uninteresting at first, especially since he didn't have much to do until towards the very end. Morton, I thought she did as nice of a job as she could with the material given. We also have John Voight, who appears for a few moments throughout this movie. He's nice to see. Carmen Ejogo plays the president of this organization in America who tries to keep the wizards and witches on the down low. I like seeing her too. Then Colin Farrell plays another Auror who is trying to go after Newt Scamander and all the other people he's associated with from catching all of these beasts, but he also has some secrets to hide as well. I don't want to give it away for those of you who haven't seen this film yet. I thought Farrell was a really cool addition. The whole cast overall really was fitting into this Wizarding World universe. Onto the plot, I would say that Rowling, for her screenwriting debut, does a fabulous job with what she does. She really does feel at home in this universe. Now, she didn't adapt all the other Harry Potter movies for the silver screen, but with Rowling in actually contributing to the script directly with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, there's just a lot to be had here, especially if you're a big Harry Potter fan such as myself. Lots of references are in this movie, but they're not overbearing. Of course, some terminology that we Potter fans are accustomed to, like muggles, no mages, potions, elixirs, anything like that. It's integral to this universe. In addition, what I can say that is fantastic, pun intended, about this movie with its writing is that you don't have to be a Harry Potter fan to get into this movie right away. Yeah, it helps a lot if you're a fan of this franchise to really get what's going on, but if you go into this movie completely cold without having read any of the books or watched any of the movies, there's a lot to be had with getting into this magical universe. Rowling just still does an amazing job setting up what we already know and what is new for us, since this film takes place in 1926, decades before the character of Harry Potter is even born. The look of this movie, this really looks like a movie that came out of that time period, with the costumes, the makeup, the hair, the locations of the buildings, the cars, reminiscent of cars from that time in history, the cobblestone streets, trains. It all looks so authentic. The way even people were speaking, it felt like it was authentic to that area of the United States and that time period. The whole thing just looks immaculately put together. I also have to give a special mention to James Newton Howard's score. Now, this movie really had a bit of a hard task, for me at least, to live up to the other great scores we have gotten from past Potter composers, like John Williams with the first three movies and Alexandre Desplat with the final Potter movies. But I think Howard really did live up to what those other guys did with those films. The music, very beautifully put together. It felt like music that would fit into this universe really well. I thought the cinematography was gorgeous. This is a stunning looking movie, not just with the design of the production, the visuals, no, how the camera really flows everywhere. The editing, a bit off in a certain amount of places. They're really minor, but overall this movie was seamlessly strung together in an efficient manner. There's so much more to the rest of the visuals too. The look of the beasts and how they all uniquely look, phenomenally done. I never felt like they were fake in the slightest. I felt like they were all real. When magic spells are shot everywhere, when the characters apparate or teleport to different places. Basically just all around great direction from David Yates. He's really back into this universe, accustomed to what he has done with familiar old ground, and I really enjoyed what he did with his vision for this film. What I have to say that goes into issues with this movie goes into how this is the start of a new sub-series within the Wizarding World. Now, I really don't want to have to complain that much with it being a lot of setup in this movie, but there's a fair amount of exposition to be had here, as this is the first in what is planned to be a 5-movie series, and when the movie ends, there's a lot of revelations that happen that set up the next film and what could be further expanded with this in-film universe. And I would say, I felt some sequences were rushed at times. Now, this movie ran really nicely at about 2 hours, 10, 15 minutes or so. I never felt bored. I was always engaged in what was happening, but I can understand why people would suddenly feel it dragging because a lot of stuff is explained, drawn out, engaging to me, but to other people it may not be so. And also adding on to how this movie felt like it was set up, it also really didn't feel like it went anywhere for a little bit. There was a kind of a bit of a lull in the middle of this movie. I really am not complaining that much about it, but for non-Potter fans who are going into this movie, or for anyone who's watching this movie solely as a film, it will bother people. What I have to say though is that overall, it made me feel like I was back in this universe. The way it all concluded, I felt like it left it open-ended enough that we can see other characters continue into this series later on and have an end on a fine note for the characters we are involved with here. My final thoughts on this movie are that it is superbly acted, visually stunning, and really engaging for anyone who is a big Potter fan such as myself. It is utterly magical, to say the least. People who are going into this movie already a big Harry Potter fan and are really into this universe, yeah, you'll really enjoy this movie as I have. If you are not a Harry Potter fan at all, or if you're going into this movie completely cold, I think you'll still get a little bit something out of it. Yeah, you'll have that one glaring issue in not understanding everything or having this be a lot of exposition, kind of like how the first few Harry Potter movies were until they continued on to the series. But it still makes for something very entertaining, very fun, brimming with energy, a lot of connectivity to be had in watching this as an experience. I definitely want to see where this series goes on later with the subsequent sequels that are planned to be released into this series. I really am so happy to be back into this wizarding world after 5 years of not having been in it within film. I definitely recommend this film. My final verdict for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you all, as always, for watching. Be sure to like this video, comment on what you thought of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you, muggles, no-mages, witches, wizards, all the like. I will catch all of you on the next movie review.